And back home, employers in Singapore are looking to hire more Singaporeans this year. That's according to findings from the latest global salary survey by professional recruitment firm Robert Walters. Figures from the survey showed that in-demand candidates who switched jobs last year got a 10 to 20% increase in their salaries. And for more insight on this, we have Managing Director of Robert Walters Singapore, Toby Fowlston, joining us. Now, Toby, can you tell us why there is high demand for Singaporean workers?
Yes, certainly. I mean, what we've seen certainly over the last 12 months is Singapore has remained, and I think will continue to remain, a key regional hub for ASEAN and India as well. There are obviously still continuing needs there, rising consumer demands, rising healthcare needs, rising financial services needs, and obviously that requires talent to support that. And we're seeing an increasing demand from our clients for Singaporean talent. We've seen an increased number of jobs, 39% increase in jobs 2014 versus 2013. Albeit, I must say, a lot of those jobs are also jobs that have remained open for longer periods of time. I think also the Fair Consideration Framework has brought it much more to the foreground as well, and we've seen a very strong commitment from our clients to focus on the Singaporean talent, and that's going to continue in 2015 and likely beyond that as well.
And what are some of the salary trends and expectations for the year ahead?
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing necessarily salary increments in every area. We've seen a very heavy demand in the corporate governance areas, and that's driven by regulation, obviously, particularly in the banking sector. So areas like compliance, risk, and internal audit, Singaporean professionals with that sort of experience are in a strong position in terms of looking at salary increases. Obviously also digital. We're seeing obviously growing social media, online content. A lot of our clients are looking for experienced professionals with digital experience.
Now, there are certain sectors in the economy experiencing a talent crunch where, Singaporeans are concerned, and presumably one way of addressing this talent crunch is to, attract overseas Singaporeans to return. What would be needed to achieve that?
Well, one alternative source of obviously attracting Singaporean talents is clearly not just focusing on the domestic market, but also people who may be returning from overseas. And that obviously could well be driven by factors overseas, such as decreasing oil prices. Obviously, we've had recent and heavily documented challenges in Switzerland. Having said that, there's obviously the recovering US economy, so there's an attraction to staying there. People don't necessarily return home purely because of employment, but that is certainly one consideration. And right now, there is a lot of opportunity for Singaporean talent who may be considering returning home. And we've focused on a new campaign halfway through the course of last year called Balik Kampung, which is obviously returning home, returning back to the village. And we've seen some really high-quality professionals, Singaporean professionals, who have returned back to the Singapore job market.
Now, Toby, I understand that Robert Walters also looked at some of the reasons why Singaporeans left their jobs last year. Can you share with us some of the findings?
Absolutely, yes. So we ran a survey last year, and the survey was 1,285 Singaporean professionals. And what we found that actually the three reasons why people left their job, the number one reason was limited growth at their company. Second reason was they felt underpaid, and the third reason was they felt undervalued. And the other factor, which was interesting, was that 61% of those people surveyed wouldn't say anything to their employer if they were not happy. So I think the message really that we're working on with our clients is to really promote engagement, communication with their talent. And there's a lot of discussion about attracting strong Singaporean talent, but of course, many of our clients are very heavily focused on retaining that talent and obviously developing that talent as well.
Toby, thanks for your time this afternoon. That was Toby Fowlston, Managing Director of Robert Walters.